So one more match to come here at Grammatech Orakei Domain. It's the All Black Sevens against Australia Sevens for the final time. The New Zealand men have dominated. They certainly dominated this morning. 36-5. They ran out big winners. And so one more chance for them too to play up against their Aussie rivals. And out they come. The Australian men, who will be disappointed after this morning's effort, given they were so close last night at Eden Park. Chapman, Lawson, Patterson, Peach, Roach, Turner and Trey Williams. A couple of Williamsons, a couple of Joshes, a couple of Lockies in the Aussie side, who are coached by Tim Walsh. No Louis Holland. It was Holland sitting out this one. Nick Maloof, the captain, will start off the bench for the Australians. And for New Zealand, Curry, Mickelson, Newstar, Ware, Molia, who we haven't seen today. Nanai Sutoro gets a start, and Amanaki Nicole as well. The New Zealand team coached by Clark Laidlaw. Extra subs on the bench if they want to roll them on. I might see a little bit of rotation just to keep everybody warm, if nothing else. Willie Losso been out in the middle and it is freezing.
It is cold out there, I can tell you that. But this is the best chance for the Australian men, in my view. They've taken a punishing, or they got a beating this morning, and something tells me that they regrouped and said, not tonight.
We'll soon find out. Final match of Trans-Tasman Sevens underway as Andrew Newstub sends it high into the gloomy skies on a Sunday afternoon here in Auckland, brought down by Nick Chapman. So Australia will get the first chance with possession. Roach it is as they spin it across, and they're going to chance their arm a little bit here. The Aussies, good to see New Zealand trying to rip in, but good possession controlled early on as they use the width, spreading side to side Australia. Here's Patterson, who was good in that first match this morning for Australia, coming off the bench, the man with no number on his back, and now straight up through the middle they go through Chapman. New Zealand trying to hustle in there, and they've won it back, and all of a sudden it's going to open up for Regan Ware. Ball just spilled out on the All Black Sevens side, and Ware scoops it up. He's a class finisher, too quick.
Didn't just spill out, put it down to the class of Amanaki Nicole. Great read. He could see that the Australians were struggling there at the set piece, put some pressure on. The counter ruck was good, and the ball comes out the side, and Regan Ware helped himself to the first points of this game, considering they were doing a lot of defending. Have a look at the work of Nicole there in jersey 15. There he is, makes the tackle, and then he'll get up and he'll counter ruck, and that's where the ball comes out.
Conversion is good too from Newstub, so straight off the first passage of play, New Zealand scores 7-0. Nanai Sutoro, this is where he's dangerous around the base of that ruck. Doesn't throw a good pass though for Newstub, who goes back to tidy up and gives it to the try scorer Ware, who puts on a little bit of footwork and then just surges through a tired Australian defence. Regan Ware goes bang bang.
Should never have scored. There were 3 Australian defenders standing in front of him, and all of them just basically watched him glide past. Just determination again. That X factor that we've spoken about all weekend, and Regan Ware is full of it. His ability to break tackles is one thing, but I've got to say, I'd be disappointed if I was the Australian coach at the way that they let that through. That should never happen. Look at this. They're on the attack here. He has to come back, and then all of a sudden he steps and he's gone. There's 3 Australian players standing there.
Nothing on for Regan Ware. So scrum sets just outside the 22, and they try and take away down the short side. It's Chapman who goes to ground for Australia, recycles the ball, and now they spin it away. Patterson again, who's been lively. Turner. Roach comes back on the switch and tries to work some magic through the middle. Pops a little ball for Peach, whose hands are good. Gets rid of one and then flicks a little ball around the outside. Oh, that's a nice tidy try for Australia. Nick Chapman in the finish. Good work from Dylan Peach to set him away.
He's been gassed a couple of times, but he responds in true Australian fashion. And it was a peach of a pass too. He drew in 2 defenders. Just loved the way that he's able to break the first tackle and then draw in Mickelson. That's the class there. Chapman, well, he could have walked in. And finally, Australia get their first points on the board.
Dietrich Roach to try and add a couple of extras for Australia, and does so. So Australia get themselves back into it with their first try of the half. 14-7, 90 seconds to go in the first.
Just goes to show, isn't it, if you're able to hold on to possession against this New Zealand team and work a little bit of magic, look for some mismatches and some lovely play as well, you can score.
Roach bangs it long down deep into New Zealand territory. It'll be brought down high above the head of Nicole, and Newstub is to bring Curry into it, and they go back down that side again where Ware has made some metres once more. Able to clear out and clear away. Good quick recycling by New Zealand. Nanai Seturo, look at the footwork. Had a little stumble and still got through one, and then passed the ball for Satsford. Can't get it quite back in field though for Morlia, and it's the try scorer Chapman who's able to tidy up for Australia and set Peach away again. Australia back over into New Zealand territory, or almost. Roach just probing. And now getting it wide for Williams. Well, back in for Peach. Oh, it's good passing, good interchange of skills for Australia to open up the New Zealand defence. And this man, Henry Patterson, has been impressive, and he gets the score to boot.
Wow, that's impressive. And Trey Williams impressed me the most. He was there to secure possession so they didn't lose it. And then when they move it back towards where he's standing on the wing, he decides to shift, give it into Peach, and then a lovely offload to Patterson, who found a massive gap, and Australia are well and truly back in this game.
That's a good option too from Williams, who I guess when you're that fast, your first instinct is always just to put the foot down and go, but this time set it up for his teammates.
I've never been that fast, I wouldn't know.
No, I guess it's what it's like.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
14 points to 12 with the conversion to come, and Roach's kicking has been good, and that is good too. So we go into the halftime break in this final match, all square, 14 all. Between the All Black Sevens and Australia.
Great comeback from the Australians. They could have been dead and buried, and it could have been a 40-pointer, but they dug deep, as Australians always do.
7 minutes to play, and it's 14 all. Brought down by New Zealand to restart the second half. Ware got 2 tries in the first. Newstub, he looked for the wraparound, he's gone back the other way and backed himself through the line. Newstub flicks a little ball for Nanai Seturo, tries to get a bit of his footwork going. Looks to link up with Ware. Ware's got Saxon. Is he going to need him? Yes, he will. Flicks the ball out the back of the hand for Satsford. Joss onto the field for New Zealand as well. Great ball control and passing skills from the All Black Sevens at the moment. Newster, big, long cutout ball. It's Curry stationed out there for New Zealand. Cover defence coming across. Needs to make the tackle back in field for Newstub. Well, it is the architect of a lot of it, Andrew Newstub, and he gets the finish. Great build-up, great try.
The smile says it all too, doesn't it? He just knew some of those offloads were just unbelievable, just so accurate. And then the class as well, just to slow things down and then look where the mismatches are and look where there's space. The big wide pass out to Curry. He does what Curry always does, and that's take the ball forward, and then Newstub just runs a lovely support line. He's been terrific since he started wearing the jersey, and he just continues in that vein of form. That must be a nightmare for the selectors as to who they don't take.
He's kicked it too from out wide. Curry there working tirelessly to come and clear out and then send it away. Kuroi look for Satson on the short ball. The Australian defenders left on the ground. They looked up at the referee wondering if there'd been a shepherd. No whistle came, but the try did for Vilamoni Kuroi.
Well, you can understand why they're exhausted. Brilliant play from New Zealand. And it started from the counter ruck and then the kick down, which Roach, then the silly penalty to give New Zealand more possession. And that's just dangerous. When you give the men in the black shirts more possession, they're going to punish you by holding on to the ball. And Kuroi there just stepping off and stepping out of a couple of tackles to extend their lead.
It's energy sapping, isn't it, when you're having to defend and there's passes going this way and which way and that. Here's Kuroi to convert his own try, just scoots under.
Just those little mistakes too, though. You know, you don't dive on a play. The players know you can't dive on a play that's on the ground. It's just unforgiven. And so, to me, that's just a lack of discipline.
So from 14 all at half-time, once again, Australia right in the match and just letting it slip away. Still got time, 2.5 to play. As they reach high into the sky, and That's going to be a penalty New Zealand's way. I think expecting it the other way, perhaps. Thought he might have been taken in the air.
I'll let that go through to the keeper.
So, New Zealand and Kitiona-Vai.
I think there was a shepherder, there was an Australian player that had obstructed a New Zealand player from attempting in the air.
Joss for New Zealand, rush onto the field. Good hit made by him on Belt. And the makeshift 11 jersey, Carter. And back they go for Joss. And to squeeze his way through. Taken down in the tackle by Jordan Williams. And now a penalty Australia's way.
Well done, Jordan Williams. Put him to ground and then got the ball straight away. And here we go with Australia. Roach.
And Bell. Lockie Miller outside. They switch the point of the attack back into the middle. There's Jordan Williams again, another of the youngsters. Williams and Dietrich Roach have played a lot together. We saw them here at World Schools a couple of years ago. And now making their way in the Australian team, looking to try and accelerate through the gap. Ball goes to ground, but the bounce is kind for the green and gold. And they're keeping it alive nicely here, Australia, trying to get up over halfway. Williams again. And now one of the Lockies, Lockie Miller, ragdolled into the ground by Ware for New Zealand. And a penalty too. And all that good work comes to nothing.
Well, the ball was out too. That's the thing that I can't understand. But anyway, the referee in a better position than me. And Australia had done so well to hold on to position, but they needed to go wide. They had Palmer Foe catching the flu out on the right wing. And they didn't identify that he's there unemployed. What a kick.
That's a great kick for touch by Kuroi, New Zealand, right down inside 5 metres again. So the All Black Sevens 26-14 to try and wrap up a clean sweep of games over the Aussie men this weekend. It's been a couple of years since Australia's been able to get one over the All Black Sevens. They were close in the Vancouver final. A little bit of a gap's opened up again in the COVID break. Here's Brady Rush for New Zealand. Nice early ball out wide to the flyer. Warbrick in the corner. So big and strong around the outside. Got ball in hand early, and it's a classy finish from New Zealand. And William Warbrick, who wants to get on with things to get a conversion. They thought they might try and get another one away before the hooter, hoping for time for a restart, but instead they will finish off with a fine, well-taken try. The kick from Kuroi put New Zealand in the 5 metre line, and then it was just catch and pass, drawing in defenders, and then the speed around the outside. He's been pretty unstoppable, William Warbrick. The short glimpses we've seen of him this weekend, and it's a strong finish for the New Zealand men. 31-14, they take it out over Australia, and they wrap up their 6th win of the weekend.